Hey everyone, it is Lucid and welcome back to Ringworld. We are on turn 17 playing EA Yomi, and without further ado we will hop into it. So we have our daily elf message from Abyssia. Brothers of the Pancor system, the elvish aggression has expanded. Apparently they are in control of the noble Oceania people. I am sure the proud, noble, strong, prestigious people of Oceania cannot stand their enslavement by their elvish overlords. So apparently whoever, because there are not actual elves in this game for the most part, any faction that attacks Abyssia, I think, gets accused of being an elf. So this is like the McCarthy area, or the McCarthy era for Dominions. Okay, are these annual messages cringe or what? I guess that depends on who you are. I don't always read them, so I don't know which camp that puts me in, but they are usually kind of funny. I'm not going to read them every turn, though. Anyway, Garden of Bones. I think that warrants us an attack, though I don't see we get attacked by Independence down here. But that's nice. More death income. Cloud Pillars and Quicksand. Let's go check those out. Cloud Pillars is Air Astral, and that's actually pretty good for us because we need to get broken into Astral, and right now we only have it on his Pretender God. So either his Pretender God can spam out Arcane Probing to get us more Astral sites, or or we have to stumble across some indie Astral Mages. But either way, having Astral Pearls is going to allow us to get our income going up much faster than it otherwise would have. We also found Quicksand, which is just another Earth site, but I say that we need Earth like we need hard narcotics, which you can argue how much you actually do need hard narcotics, but if you are Chaos-possessed demons, trust me, you need hard narcotics. Okay, so we relinquished this finally to Lanka. We had a kind of failed attempt the turn before, so now he is going to upgrade it to a fort for us. And normally Lanka is not a great fort upgrading nation, but he is better than Yomi, and that is all we need. One of the limitations playing Yomi is all of your guys are slow to recruit, and so that's one of the reasons this nation is just horribly, horribly bad. But we're going to try to fix that, partially through playing Disciples, where we can at least get them a normal fortress so we can get one Oni Shugo a turn. These guys are pretty good. A Sacred Death 2 that is also a thug is really good. The major weakness these guys actually have is their armor. This armor is kind of the plague of Yomi. It makes the Dione kind of suck, and it makes these guys kind of suck. If you put a Death Gem on these guys and you Soul Vortex, which really only comes online a bit later in the game, they don't really care about the heavy armor, but until then it's a major problem for them. So, and you don't always want to put a Death Gem on these guys. So what do? Well, we're going to make a ton of them. Our Earth Path ones, we have the option of giving them Earth Boots, and then they get to Earth Power themselves, and they don't necessarily care about the high encumbrance. Or we get to use a hammer, but that's a 10 gem item, and we can make them some crappy 1 or 2 encumbrance armor. Ideally, we actually make them, once we're Construction 6, I think Armor of the Knights is probably the best bang for our buck. Though there's other 5 gem, low encumbrance armor we could make. Yeah, the absolute best is probably this Lion Pelt. It's kind of ridiculously good for its price, and it's very, very low encumbrance. So, I mean, this is like overpowered good. But we don't have the cross paths to make it easily. Ideally, these Amazons you get, well, I can't show you. These Amazons have a 25% chance of a random, so you get a lot of randoms on these if you mass recruit them. And one of the randoms is Earth. So you have a 25% chance of that. So you have a 1 in 16 chance of getting an Earth Amazon. And that gives me the Earth-Nature Crosspath, which is super good. So, on one hand, I don't really want to waste fort turns on making them, but on the other hand, I probably will. I'm probably going to get a few Onishugo to kind of thug up this border. And then, perhaps against my better judgment, we're going to go cranking out Jade Sorceresses. So, that's kind of what's going to happen there. We have some battles. Lanka is attacking yet another Jade Amazon province owned by Formoria. It's kind of crazy. We have 3 Jade Amazons on this planet. We attack some independents. These are the ones that were right next to Formoria's fort that he hadn't bothered to take out. So we figured we would finish up expansion for him. All is well there. And then we are attacking... Oh, actually, I attacked that... The battle we just watched was in Lanka. But apparently Lanka and I both attacked it. We didn't communicate well, so you didn't see me. Anyway, this is me moving on top of Formoria's little fort with a bunch of barbarians behind my dudes. Now, there's no way to script barbarians. Ideally, I'd put them on hold and attack. But they don't listen, so they're going to run forward and just kill everything on their own. This guy was more if there's some kind of heavy resistance, which there's not. So, yeah, that's that. We get some more Earth Gems and we get +1 luck. Not bad. So I would say one of the things I was talking actually in Discord kind of recently about was people are always saying that taking Misfortune is just free scales. And sometimes I think you should take Misfortune. But I think it's heavily dependent on the nation. One thing is Luck 3 is really nice. You can see, I got all this stuff to make these palisades, so I got a lot of income from Luck. And then I've gotten a lot of gem income. The Earth Gems, they're just flowing in. Death Gems, I'm getting tons of gem events. So, it's hard to exactly put a price on that, or, like a price tag on it. But the other thing is, I'm not super well equipped to kill little people raiding my territories all the time. Especially if I have, like, unforted temples. So, it makes taking Misfortune on these guys kind of tricky. I don't think I would really want to do it. Especially when you get the added bonus of Turmoil. We get more random events. So I would rather not get more bad random events. Anyway, yeah, I think Luck is definitely paying off this game. Sometimes it doesn't. You can still get bad events with Luck. But you're not going to get as many. The chance of it being a good event, like plus 30% good, is pretty significant. And then a lot of the really bad events are just taken off the table. So, I do not think Misfortune is a go-to dump scale. I think it's heavily dependent, and I've had games just flat out ruined from taking Misfortune. I think Misfortune is something you take if you can patrol, or you have flyers or something, so you can very easily take back provinces that get attacked. Yeah, and you have no reason, especially if you take Turmoil, you want to take Luck, but if you take Order, and the other thing is if you fort up a lot, or you have very easy kind of counter raiding after little indies come and attack your provinces, those are all reasons to take some Misfortune. And if you have all those things in place, it's not that expensive to take Misfortune, but then you're missing out on Luck, and Luck can be really, really nice. There's some kind of game-changing events you can get. Like, you can even get random sites that give you, some kind of path bonus, which can make a big deal in a game. Anyway, the other thing is you get good heroes. So if you like your heroes, what is the value of having this guy researching since turn 1. Or like turn 3 or whenever he popped out. You know, it's not nothing. It's pretty freaking significant. It means a lot of my early stuff is going to come online several turns earlier, which can make a big difference. Anyway, that is that. We have construction 2, so we are going to be making our first dwarven hammer. And then we will use that dwarven hammer to make more dwarven hammers. Now, I thought about using this guy to go ahead and make a dwarven hammer this turn, because I don't really need the temple yet. But I need as many... Ultimately, right now I'm not Earth Gem constrained, because I have a ton of Earth Gems. But very, very quickly I will be Earth Gem constrained. I'm going to need as many Earth Gems as I can. Lanka's going to need a ton of hammers to basically start cranking out Skull Mentors and Alquills. And yeah. So I need to give him some, and then I'm going to need a lot of hammers myself so that I can do things like Bracers of Protection, and then all my Dione are going to need gear. I have to get rid of their base heavy samurai armor to basically so they have decent map move and so they have good encumbrance. And then ideally I'm going to do that even for some of my Oni Shugo. So yeah, we're going to need a ton of hammers, and that is going to mean I need a ton of Earth Gems. So anyway, instead of doing 2 hammers one turn, we are going to use all of our Earth Gems to make hammers, and then we are going to use Hammered Dione to make more hammers. I may do like one turn where I get somebody else to make another hammer, but I don't know. I kind of doubt it. So, okay, we've been through the events. We've waxed philosophical and all. What we're going to do now is we're going to move more dudes in on top of this fort. And this guy is going to move out. We're going to go ahead and raid. One thing is if I start locking up this guy's cap circle, especially this, it's a high resource province, we're going to limit potentially his giant production, which is something I would like to do. And it's also just going to generally disrupt logistics and stuff. Now, this is a really risky move. And let's talk about why it's a risky move. I know he has the Iru of War, or whatever it's called. It's basically a Titan, fire, nature, blood, Titan chassis. And it can totally kill my Dione if it equips a Holy Scourge. And there's nothing this guy would do to live. So yeah, that's why this is risky. He hasn't revealed himself, so I don't know what gear he has. The only reason he might not want to is to kill all of these guys. Like if he's geared up to kill armies, he needs a shield probably. And he can't wear a shield if he's got a Holy Scourge. So that is the only reason he might not have that equipped. Because this guy definitely has... The other thing is he may not have fire gems. And he doesn't have astral. So it would be very difficult for him to alchemize things into fire gems. Yeah, so that is the only reason he may not do a Holy Scourge. But he could trade for it. And we're in a big game. And everybody in the game, especially anybody that has Construction 2 and Fire, or even people that just have fire gems... I can think of no better use for fire gems than giving them or trading them to the player playing Formoria, who is fighting Lanka and Yomi. So my expectation is that he has it, but I don't want this thing to drag out, and I don't want to play too conservative, and I don't know if he has it yet. So we're going to be risky. We're going to roll the dice, and if it comes back to bite us, it bites us. This isn't a huge gem investment. It's like 15 gems, and then one of my Dione. But we're not going to be scared of something that we don't even know exists. Like, I don't know what he's equipped on this dude, and I don't know if he's ready to go. He just popped out recently. I think he was dormant. So, yeah, he will be coming out pretty soon. But I don't know. He's maybe forging up items for himself. So anyway, we're going here. We're moving a ton of dudes on top of the fort because guess what? We didn't harm it. So he's got a lot of dudes inside. And we need to get way more dudes to actually start breaking down this fort wall. I think that is about it for this turn. We are also pinging this throne. I want to see what's in here. Potentially we take a Dione in here to try to take it out. We see it does have sorceresses, so that means I have to be careful. Because these are definitely the kind of unit which can kill Dione. And I think that's about it. We're going to continue. This guy's just going to site search galore up here. And that is going to be his job for the next while. And I think that's about it for this turn. Yeah, nothing much left here to talk about. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and move on to the next turn. So that was turn 17. So turn 18. Kind of weird, my video recording thing, sorry, I paused for a minute, it's not showing its little animation saying it's recording, but it tells me it still is when I alt-tab out. So anyway, let's go ahead and look. We have our Abyssia elf message of the day. I think Abyssia is attacking people. And then if he attacks them, he says that they're run by elves. And I don't know who he's attacking. One thing we can see, we have a development up here. Formoria has moved in, and how the hell does he have earth elementals? Like as permanent units. It's interesting. I don't know how you do that. I mean, normally you can only do that with the king of earth elementals or something like that. But anyway, what this probably means is that Formoria is way down here on one of these planets. So that's a bit awkward. I mean, technically they can still go reinforce each other, and then Agartha could potentially make a hold in one of these oceans. It's going to be really hard with a lot of ocean powers, though. And then he could go make a foothold on one of the lands. This is a really hard start. This is probably the worst starting position for all the players in this game. The Formoria Agartha starting position. So on one hand, it means I can potentially just be friendly to them because I don't have to worry about them blowing up. But on the other hand, it means they could be easy food. So I'm going to have to decide which one I want to do. Let's go and watch the rest. We've got... I think I cast Summon Shades too, because that's actually pretty good against super combatants. And Fomorian Giants, it's pretty good against too. So here comes my Dione. Having to kill his own kind. Kooni here, so they're part of this PD. .28 protection, not bad. Okay. We attack Independence here. We're pinging that throne. So let's take a look. Let's see what we got. These are Phantasmal Warriors. So they kind of suck, but they're ethereal, so we want to have a magic weapon to kill them. Here's our first sorceress. So first thing I notice is she's Death 3 with a bunch of Death Gems. So that means a lot of Horde of Skeletons. Second thing I notice is she's Air 2 with Air Gems, which means in theory she could Air Elemental, so we need some lightning resistance. The Astral part isn't a big deal, but I don't... Normally the AI doesn't really do this, but it could power the spheres and then really lay into... Like, I mean, it could power the spheres using 2 pearls, which would basically be a pretty low fatigue spell, because it would basically be 25 fatigue. Then it could spam out air elementals and undead. It would be pretty scary. We've got another sorceress down here. She's diseased and limping and old age. So she is probably not long for this world. Only 2 hit points left. So she might actually die before we go and try to take it. But yeah, she's just got... Astral 2, which is not that scary here. Potentially, like, if a player were to script it, but again, the AI doesn't normally do this, could do Power of the Spheres, summon Earth Power, and then Gifts of Heaven. That would be really bad for a Dione. But I do not expect that from the AI. It is not a large enough risk where you wouldn't expand into that because you're worried about it. And there's also a good chance she's going to die before I get there. So, we also have Lanka moving in. Big Lankan army, a few little Jade Amazons. Okay, wrecked. We had a famine strike the land, so that's not very good. We got some fire gems, and we've got Dominion here. All kind of nice. Fire gems are not the best gems for me, but we can, if nothing else, turn them into gold. Okay, so to take this turn, I've decided now I can take it. So to take it, we're going to form a Mace of Eruption, which is this guy here. It's 10 fire gems, so it's kind of expensive. But with this fire, armor piercing, area of effect 1 attack, it is going to help here both with the Phantasmal Warriors, whereas it should one-hit them, and it will kill the skeletons. And that's important because I need to be able to kill the skeletons faster than the sorceress can turn them out. So I think this Mace of Eruption is going to be pretty key in that endeavor. So anyway, he's going to make that. We have this big army on here. Now, we finally see Formoria's god, Asus the Duayu of War. And this guy presumably is making stuff to come kill Dione. And Lankan little dudes. So, I don't know if he's done. I don't know if he's done finished his little Dragon Ball Z power-up, but we'll find out. I am worried. So, we got one PD here. I'm going to move this guy and attack over here. Which I think it's very unlikely his Pretender God's going to move this way and kill me with the Holy Scourge, which is what I'm worried about. So anyway, this is a kind of safe move, and then after that he can probably run back up through here on top of this fort. We'll continue sieging here. Yeah, and I think that's basically it for this turn. We're just sieging up here. So we're making a dragon helmet too, and we're forging with our hammer another dwarven hammer, and then aside from that, not much is happening. Now he is upgrading this fort. We've got these forts which are getting close, so we're building a temple here. Palisades going up here. We're continuing to site search all over the place. All my Dione are site searching. Except we're not really site searching his lands yet. Though, like this stuff I don't consider his anymore, so we'll start site searching that. And I think that's about it for this turn. So thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time.